Hotties love our show. He's romantic and me. We will do this show every Monday. Won't send you on a search, but we gotta say. Scrolls with such as teasers. Hotties love the show. Oh, hotties love the show. Well, to see their hotness. Hotties love the show. Hotties love the show. To love our hotties.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Hotties of a Show, the series where we celebrate the characters that completely distracted us from whatever chaos was happening on screen. And today, we are diving into the glitter-covered emotional hurricane known as Euphoria. Now, I gotta be honest right away, this show looks like somebody mixed a high school drama with neon lights, makeup tutorials, anxiety attacks, house parties, and every slow-motion hallway walk ever created. And somehow, every single person in the show looks unreal. Everybody's shiny, everybody's dramatic. Everybody looks exhausted, but still photogenic somehow. Euphoria became famous for aesthetics almost as much as the actual story. The makeup, the outfits, the lighting, the confidence, the emotional chaos. This show basically created an entire generation of Pinterest boards. So today, we're talking about some of the unforgettable hotties from Euphoria. Let's get into it. All right, first, we have Becky, played by Elizabeth Posey. Becky had that classic laid-back cool girl vibe that instantly fit the Euphoria universe. Played by Elizabeth Posey, Becky had expressive eyes, effortless style, and that relaxed personality that made her feel naturally confident without trying too hard. And that's a huge part of Euphoria's appeal overall. Nobody on this show looks overly glamorous in a traditional Hollywood way. Everybody looks emotionally messy, but stylish at the same time. Becky fit that energy perfectly. Casual fashion, soft makeup looks, relaxed attitude. She felt believable inside a world of neon lights and emotional breakdowns. And visually, Euphoria always knew how to shoot characters in a way that made everybody feel dreamlike. Next, we have Casey Howard, played by Sydney Sweeney. Casey Howard became one of the biggest internet crushes on television almost immediately. Because she's played by Sydney Sweeney, Cassie had blonde hair, huge expressive blue eyes, huge expressive tits, soft features, glamorous makeup, and that emotional vulnerability energy that constantly pulled viewers towards her. Sydney Sweeney has one of those faces the camera loves. Every emotional scene somehow looked cinematic. Cassie also had that very specific mix of beauty and insecurity that made the character feel tragic at times. She clearly wanted love and validation constantly, and that emotional desperation became a huge part of her storyline. But visually, Cassie absolutely looked like the classic modern blonde bombshell. Party outfits, glitter makeup, curled hair, dramatic lighting. Euphoria constantly framed Cassie like a living social media photo. And the show knew exactly how visually striking Sydney Sweeney was. Half the internet spent every Sunday night talking about Cassie. Right, next we have Faye, played by Chloe Cherry. Faye brought total chaotic energy into the show. Played by Chloe Cherry, Faye instantly stood out because she looked completely unpredictable at all times. Messy blonde hair, heavy makeup, sharp facial expressions, loud personality. She looked like she walked into every scene directly from an after party. And honestly, that unpredictability made her memorable. Faye had this weird combination of being funny, sketchy, awkward, and oddly lovable all at once. Plus, visually, she perfectly matched the rough late-night aesthetic of Euphoria. Smudged makeup, oversized clothes, dramatic lighting. She looked like somebody surviving purely on chaos and bad decisions, which honestly describes half the people on this show. Next is Girl in the Back Room, who's played by Isabella Brenza. Even smaller Euphoria characters somehow became memorable because the show had such a strong visual identity. Played by Isabella Brenza, the Girl in Back Room character had that mysterious background party energy that made Euphoria scenes feel alive. Everybody in this universe looked stylish somehow. Lighting, makeup, glitter aesthetics, and party atmosphere made even brief appearances stand out visually. And Euphoria became one of those shows where viewers pause scenes just to look at outfit and makeup designs. Hot Girl, played by Brooklyn Brailsford. The fact that Euphoria literally has a credited character named Hot Girl tells you everything about this show's aesthetic priorities. Played by Brooklyn Brailsford, the character fit perfectly into the flashy neon party atmosphere that made Euphoria famous. Everybody in the background of this show somehow looked like they belonged in a fashion campaign. Glitter makeup, bright colors, stylized lighting, perfectly messy hair. Euphoria basically turned random house parties into music videos. Then we have Influencer, played by Emily Rosalind Villarreal. Euphoria absolutely understood modern influencer aesthetics. Played by Emily Rosalind Villarreal, this character perfectly matched the social media heavy vibe of the show. Perfect makeup, confident poses, stylish outfits, phone always nearby. The entire Euphoria universe constantly feels like everybody knows they're being watched. That's part of why the show became so visually iconic online. We have another influencer played by Anna Smith. Even brief characters in Euphoria somehow manage to leave impressions because the show is so focused on visual style. Played by Anna Smith, this influencer character matched the polished, glamorous aesthetic the series constantly leaned into. Everybody looked cool, everybody looked dramatic, everybody somehow has perfect lighting. Maddie Perez, played by Alexa Demi. Maddie Perez might honestly be the defining Euphoria crush for a huge part of the internet. Played by Alexa Demi, Maddie had dark hair, sharp eyeliner, glossy makeup, incredible outfits, and enough confidence to overpower basically every scene she entered. And honestly, confidence is what made Maddie so attractive. She walked around like she knew she was the hottest person in the room at all times. That energy made her iconic. Plus, Electra Demi naturally has one of the coolest faces in modern television. Sharp features, intense eyes, calm expressions. She barely even needed dialogue sometimes because the attitude alone carried scenes. And visually, Maddie had some of the most talked about outfits in the entire series. Dresses, makeup, nails, jewelry, everything about her became social media famous. Next we have Marta, played by Isabella Alvarez. Marta had a softer, more understated presence compared to some of the other louder personalities around her. Played by Isabella Alvarez, Marta brought warmth and natural charm into scenes, and Euphoria balanced glamorous characters with more grounded personalities really well. Not everybody felt overly theatrical. Some characters stood out because they felt emotionally real underneath all the neon visuals. Alright, next we have Rue Bennett, played by Zendaya. Yeah, Fushon loves Zendaya. Rue Bennett became one of Zendaya's most important roles ever. And what's interesting is Rue's attractiveness came less from glamour and more from emotional honesty. Played by Zendaya, Rue usually looked exhausted, emotionally overwhelmed, anxious, or disconnected from the world around her. But Zendaya's charisma still pulled viewers in constantly. Big expressive eyes, natural beauty, quiet emotional delivery. Rue felt human. And honestly, the vulnerability made people connect with her deeply. While other Euphoria characters often looked polished and flashy, Rue usually felt stripped down emotionally. Hoodies, messy hair, tired expressions. That contrast made her stand out even more. Next, we have Samantha, played by Minka Kelly. Samantha brought mature elegance into the Euphoria universe. Played by Minka Kelly, Samantha had effortless beauty, calm confidence, and that classic sophisticated energy that instantly stood out. And Minka Kelly has always had timeless TV star beauty. Soft eyes, dark hair, warm smile, relaxed confidence. She didn't need flashy outfits or dramatic makeup to stand out on screen. Sometimes calm elegance works better than chaos. And last we have Tammy, played by Coco Lloyd. Tammy fit naturally into this visually chaotic world of Euphoria. Played by Coco Lloyd, Tammy carried the modern party scene aesthetic the show constantly leaned into. Stylish outfits, heavy makeup, confident energy, neon lighting everywhere. Euphoria turned almost every hallway, bedroom, and party into a music video. So yeah, even if you've never actually watched Euphoria, you probably still recognize the makeup, outfits, lighting, and characters because the show completely took over pop culture for a while. Whether you like the confidence of Maddie, the emotional vulnerability of Cassie, the chaos of Faye, or the quieter realism of Rue, there was definitely somebody in this show that became an internet obsession. And Euphoria might secretly be one of the most visually stylish shows ever made. Now I want to hear your Euphoria crushes in the comments. Who had the best style, who had the best makeup looks, and who completely stole every scene they appeared in? Cassie. If you enjoyed this episode of Hotties of a Show, make sure you like, subscribe, and stick around because we got plenty more nostalgia and chaos on the way. And remember, on Euphoria, apparently every hallway has professional cinematic lighting. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.